Test, test, test. 1, 2. Get all the audios set. How you guys doing? We should be good. Get my audios right in my ears. What's up, guys? Nexus. Nexus is saying this is the Chill House stream. I don't know. I will cover the Chill House NFTs. I will cover that. That is in the slide deck today. But, welcome to the Rainbow Trends weekly stream. This is the weekly Well Watch. This is your host, Runner. We are doing this every Thursday unless I get a fishing trip booked with the fam, which was why we were out last week. But we do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hang out for an hour, then we go over to the Discord. If you're curious where the Discord is at, it's always at the top link banner here on the main website because Discord links are always kind of hard to find. But this is where we go and we hang out and we actually like open up the screens to everyone else and let anybody who's got ideas share their thoughts and share their insights, and it's a great time. And if you have like questions for the OGs or questions for me, it's a really good place. I watched the chat on the YouTube. Twitter chat doesn't really work, but I can read it, but I can't reply, but I can answer verbally if you guys chat. What's up, Jared? What's up, Nexus? We got Sean here too. RJ. We got the good dudes in. See if Mally rolls in a little later tonight. But if you guys are curious, check us out at rainbowtrends.com. If you're curious about any of these tools and stuff like this, why on earth my charts look so crazy, it's because of this. If you want to go talk to the other OGs, if you want to find someone besides me who uses this stuff, go chat up with them. And if you're really, really curious, go check out the tutorials page. That's where you can actually find like the really, really good write-ups on how this stuff works, what the colors means. And I'm starting to build this back up again. I just released, I just did the liquidation engine in here as well. Got that updated, so it took a long time, but I got a lot of stuff to work. I've been working on some back-end stuff too. We've had a lot of issues with the website, but luckily, getting some of those things resolved. Thank God. But anyway, moving on. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's have some fun. Because markets are high. The news is even crazier. I had the hardest time putting the slide deck together through stream because I don't even know what to put it on. Like, everything's so crazy this week. All the other stuff we've been talking about. And then the XRP case just broke. So, let's get into it. But, if you can, like, comment, subscribe. Dropping comments in here wakes up the YouTube algos. Tell your friends, tell your family. But starting out, last week, we had a last-minute fishing trip with the fam, went camping, had a great old time, and I got skunked. We did not catch anything, which was shocking because we ran a lot of crazy, awesome, prime baits for sharks. If you guys don't know, I do a lot of catch and release shark fishing with where we tag the sharks as well and submit it for research. But somebody in the Gulf of... It's still Gulf of Mexico to me, guys. That's going to take a while to rewire my brain. I'm just going to say Gulf. But history was made last weekend. One of the largest hammerheads I've ever seen recorded was caught and released on the Texas coast down by South Padre. This thing came in at like 14 and a half feet long. This is pushing the absolute boundary of what is even possible with fishing in general. Like, hammerheads in general can hit like 20 feet long, but it's not physically possible to catch them as a human. This is absolutely pushing the absolute limits. And this is the only other like 14-foot-ish and a half-foot hammerhead I've ever seen a picture of. And this was in 1967 off the Port Aransas North Jetty, which is absolutely mental. Pretty crazy to see stuff like this again. So kudos to those dudes. Like, that freaking dorsal fin's like 4 or 5 feet tall. It's just sick. So anyway, moving on. I saw this and I got to tie it into the stream because I wanted to share it. It has nothing to do with trading, but in the event we cash out the tippy top, we make our millions, we get our exits, maybe we got to start looking at cars and maybe we got to consider getting one of these crazy things. So apparently there's an artist who can draw on your cars to make them look like cartoons. And I just can tell you this. If you had a car like this, it'll probably cause a car accident. People might crash as they just stare at this, but it is so freaking cool. Look, and it's real. Like, it's not AGI. It's not AI. Like, the dude's legit has these cars, and I just think it looks crazy. It's like the Take On Me 1980s video. But anyway, moving on. Where are we at? Crypto news like crazy has been firing out of the White House. They had last-minute news sessions at the White House. They had some planned news sessions. They let some stuff leak before it happened. They got stuff going now. Where are we at? It's a lot of news, so bear with me. And it's going to be, the stream's all over the place because the news is kind of all over the place. We didn't really have a theme for this one because it's all over the place. But President Trump signs an executive order banning banks from debanking the Bitcoin and crypto industry. And if you're new here to the crypto industry, this was a huge deal back in the day. Businesses that were going towards crypto friendly, I believe it was under the Obama administration, just started debanking these people. As in, they could not get a checking account or a banking account. And I don't know about you, but if you run a business and you can't process payroll, you come to an absolute stop instantly. It was unfair. It was unjust. And now they have this in place. Guys, like, I don't know if you remember, but like Jesse Powell, Kraken got attacked on this. They had issues with getting debanked, and they even got raided by the feds. And Jesse showed this photo this year of an actual armored vehicle being used to take over his house and raid and take his possessions, which is nuts. This is like what you would do for like a cartel drug pin in Florida. Like, this is not what you would normally think of, like, hey, I'm going to go raid Jesse Armstrong or Jesse Powell or Brian Armstrong's house. This is just kind of crazy. So I'm glad this finally came. There's been a lot of talk and a bunch of podcasts that have been talking about the debanking as well, and just in general stuff that the current administration didn't like. They were, at the time, they were just pulling access to checking accounts, which makes like everything impossible. Was something we saw the Canadian government do during those trucker protests. They were freezing people's bank accounts, and they literally could not pay their mortgages, and people just started losing their houses over that. Like, it's a really nasty, shady thing. So regardless of what side you're on, I'm really in favor of this because it means banking can't be weaponized as easily. At least that's the hope, until that maybe this is revoked. But it's a big deal, and it's a good deal. And if you're new to like this is like your first crypto cycle, this messed up a lot of stuff a while back, years ago. So it's cool to see someone being progressive to actually fix it. So anyway, moving on. The other one that came out today. Now, this one was hinted at, and we knew this one was coming. But Trump officially signs an executive order to allow Bitcoin and crypto in 401ks, which is a crazy headline. This is the type of stuff we dreamed of in 2017. We're actually seeing it like play out, and it's absolutely insane. And you're right. Where does this go? This basically turbos like the amount of capital that's in 401k is insane. Like, what can be directly allocated into crypto? Now, I'm not saying it's going to, like, hey, all of these grandmas are going to go in and buy Cardano and Litecoin. But what I'm saying is the other really big aspect of this is you and I or anybody else who's got like access to a 401k, which most employed people with decent jobs in the United States has. You can sit there and say, hey, I want 10% of my paycheck in Ethereum. You could do it. And that's a lot. And it's tax sheltered. So you know, we already have the ETFs attacking like XRP, or not XRP, Ethereum and Bitcoin. This is another thing that's kind of crazy and awesome. So it's very good, needless to say. You want to have a lot of cash chasing few coins, right? That's where the denominator really, really matters, and it all goes to infinity. It's kind of like the meme they say. It's pretty true. And that's what we want to see. And that's why we always talk about market caps and everything like that. And hold on one second, because I'm going to pin this to my tweet. Pin to your profile. And I'm going to retweet. Like I said, if you guys want to show us some love, it's really important if you guys can drop a like and a retweet. And always subscribe, because we're really trying to get the YouTube up. But again, thank you guys for coming, because I would not do this for fun if it wasn't for you guys, because man, streaming has always been hard for me, and it sounds kind of natural at this point, but man, it took me years to get even somewhat comfortable to talk about this stuff. I used to get so anxious. But all right, posted, retweeted, good. I did it on my end as well. So that's where we're at. These are two big things. We're protecting people and most importantly, businesses. There's a lot of businesses that said, F no, we're not touching crypto, because the companies that did do that back in the day, they got destroyed and lost bank accounts. They lost bank access, all this stuff. And now they're being guaranteed to be protected. They can take the step in that direction if they want to, but it's a good sign. It lets them do it. And then it also, the 401k is just flat out tons of liquidity that can come online. People can full port Bitcoin if they want, I guess. They can also DCA, like I said, and that's just a ton of money that can go into this stuff. And then remember, there's only 21 million Bitcoin, and there's probably actually quite a bit less, because truth is a lot of them are lost, stuck in wallets, lost in wallets, people forgot wallets, all that stuff. It's way less than 21 million, so keep that in mind as well. But what does this mean? How do I quit rambling about this? How do I move forward? What it really means is this. And this is me sneaking in something else that I thought was cool that has nothing to do with crypto. But basically, the 401k executive order is going to get us into afterburners. And check out this out. This is just sick. This is sick. Let's go to the moon. Let's get there. I don't know about you, but like they need to strap this bad boy into a friggin' MiG-25. Bring the old Fox bats back. But yeah, that's cool. We just went to NASA and I got to see the Saturn missiles, the Saturn rockets that actually went to the moon, and I still can't fully comprehend how big they are. But back to this, 401ks are unlocked. We're moving forward. Liquidity is coming online, and yes, Carpe Noctem, our guy Josh, is saying, oh, I can't wait to add Fartcoin to my 401k. This is actually somewhat of a reality. I don't know how far the executive orders are going to go. I definitely don't. I don't know how much this is going to allow you to participate in shitcoins, but man, there's really high probability the top 10 coins. There's a really high probability you're going to get BNB, XRP, Sol, Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Well, obviously Bitcoin in it. It's just wild. But if Grandma wants to full port Fartcoin, let's do it. Let's take a look at the charts. First chart of the day. So, in reality, if you look at this, now this is one thing I've told people. You want to call Rainbow Trends out, go apply our tools to multiple assets. This stuff will trade Tesla, this stuff will trade Apple, this stuff will trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you can even pull it up on Fartcoin and get your bounces and your rotations here and see what the actual Fartcoin whales are doing. So, we're actually watching potentially the bottom of Fartcoin. Now, we have, yes, this is TA on Fartcoin if you've just showed up. And as much as I hate what this coin is, it's climbing the market caps and has quite a bit of exchanges that back it, as well as liquidity. So, what's it mean? Forget what the name is and study the chart, not the ticker, right? What's up, Fletch? So, we have an order block here. It's bouncing into it. We have color rotations. We have rainbow reversions. We have a bottom print, albeit we have a top print here from the pullback. But it's pulling up and out of the reversion bands. And if we go back and look at these other ones, every time it's pulled back out, for the most part, sometimes it takes another dive, it eventually tags the other side of the bands. And it's shown a lot of weakness. I say weakness. It's slowed down. For a while, it just wasn't coming down. It just kept going. This was like 42 cents, and it went all the way up to $1.65. And like it didn't even touch the bottom band here, right? Which is crazy strength. Absolutely crazy strength. But it's starting to go. So we could see this wake up. It could do another drive down right into here and then move. We don't know yet, but this is something you need. If you're a Fartcoin maxi like Dip Wheeler, you need to pay attention here. We're coming out of the bands. So we're seeing stuff wake up, and we haven't seen the volume yet. Like the volume's not fully waking up yet, but when she rocks and rolls, this stuff tends to show impulses. So keep an eye on it. We'll see where it goes. Anyway, so 401ks into Fartcoin, real executive orders protecting people. Where does that leave us? where is the state of mind of the traders in 2025 with crypto? Where's crypto Twitter at? Where are our OGs? Where are they leading us? If you guys didn't know, CL207 is actually in a bidding war with Dipwheeler for an actual tank. The joke was he was going to buy the tank to go free. What's his name? Was it Bob Lucas? I don't remember. But this is an actual thing that's going down. And then we literally started getting the photos and images of Inverse Bra getting ran over by a tank that CL207 is piloting. It's real. They're actually bidding, and Dipwheeler is outbidding him currently. I don't know what the latest is, but they're actually bidding on a tank. And I say tank, I mean a tank, a T-54 battle tank, for over $150,000. So more than one Bitcoin per tank. They always joke about one Bitcoin is one Lambo or something. One Bitcoin is one tank, almost, essentially. So it's turned into this huge thing. Apparently it's in Washington, Missouri. So meth capital of the world. It's got some tanks for sale. Every time you think like stuff can't get that crazy, it kind of does. But I'm here for it. This is fun. Is this bullish anything? I have no idea, but remember a few months ago they had the U.S. Army parade for I forgot what year anniversary it was, but there was Coinbase tanks. So now we may have a CL207 tank or we might have a Fartcoin tank, and maybe that's bullish. I don't know. We might actually see Dipwheeler running around on a damn tank. So, maybe we live in a simulation. Things are adding up. All I'm saying. But while you guys are here, let's actually pay some attention. What is up, Cybro? How you doing, dude? If you guys can see here on the right, this is for all the Twitter viewers. This is our YouTube dudes. Unfortunately, Twitter chat's not the best. Get on that, Elon. So, Bitcoin, where are we at? Well, we're at what was looking like a potential BART. And as much as people talk trash about ChatGPT, I like ChatGPT because it made me that Sailor BART. So anyway, this was starting to form a BART. We came back and tested liquidity. We tested the pivots is really what happened. I could zoom out because we haven't looked at this in a while. Channel break. We had Galaxy sell off a whole ton. Strategic crypto reserve. Our support order block here. These are the ranges. These are the old ranges. Go look at the other tweets. Go look at the other videos. They're all archived there, and you guys can check them out. We're going to focus where we're at right here. Right now, we blitzed into a new all-time high. We printed ridiculous RSI, I say numbers, levels here. You can actually see white RSI printed twice on the H4, which I don't know the last time I've ever seen that on Bitcoin. That's insane. And we actually hit like 123,000. Now, projection-wise, we were sitting there saying, hey, the last time we had a huge breakout like this was when we finally broke, like, what was this, a 12-month? How many months was this? This was the previous range we traded with. It had 2 freaking Wyckoff Creeks in it, remind you. That was March of 2024 to November 2024. Yeah, so quite a bit while, but we blitzed up, and we actually started tagging the reversion bands. You can see the tag. 1 drive, 2 drive, then the 3rd drive didn't touch the band. So I was sitting here looking at this, and they're like, people are like, where are we going? I'm like, well, we're in price discovery. You're not going to find pivots up here because we've never been here. You're not going to see anything that you can really measure off of. So we're going to have to go off our paint. We're going to have to go off rainbow tools to kind of figure this out. And the projection was like, hey, right around here is roughly where the impulse would have been if we went like the old breakout. And that would have been like 135-ish. But the whales went so hard and fast, RSI is what ended up stopping them. This was a lot to do. Like, if you guys don't know, these white X's is the hottest color of RSI that we have for a bullish trend. Whales cannot sustain this for very long at all. If it's an altcoin, like it's really low cap, that's a whole nother thing. You kind of wait for these prints to quit printing. But in general, you never really see these on the top 5 coins, short of like probably what Ripple's doing right now with the case. And if you're using the custom clouds tool and you actually have the RSI signals here, your RSI top are going to, oh, there's one candle there where it printed, but your RSI tops are going to fire off on these as well. This is your drive to where it quit printing, and then it drove again. So your 2 candles were here that were flagged on the RSI. I don't know why it's drawing so squiggly like that. But anyway, like I drew a straight line there and it squiggled it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Yes, Fletch, 1 BTC is 1 tank. 1 Litecoin is 1 drone. And then we got the H4 runnerbot top here on that candle, which is a bit of a dip, but it still would have got you out at like 117. Anyway, I digress. But what I'm saying is the runnerbot, or the RSI is what really stopped us here. Then the runnerbot kind of gave us the confirmation. If we drop down to lower time frames, we can start seeing some of the pivots that are forming here. And this is like a perfect 3 drive into this 112 pivot, essentially. We just barely kissed it, lower high, and now we're starting to see whale prints show back up. Mind you, we had some here that were bearish. And now the XRP news broke. The White House stuff kind of broke. We're going to have to let like the news chill and stuff and let everything kind of swoosh around, and then we'll see if the whales are willing to break this out again. The good news is the RSI is kind of flushed out and weakened, and the reversion band's now up here in like the 140s. So if we don't hit color resistance or RSI resistance, if we're talking like rainbow theory, we're talking the rev bands are up here like 140. So if the whales really want to send it, we're talking like full price discovery. We're talking about not slowing down until like 140s, which is a really nice place to be. So if you have any questions, let me know in the chat. Blow up the chat. It helps the stats. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys know the drill. The other thing is, I didn't bring this up, and I should have. This is our Coinbase versus Binance Premium tool. Let me show you real quick, because I just released this tutorial not that long ago. Go check out this. This is our tutorial for the actual Coinbase versus Binance Premium. The reason I bring this up, someone was asking in the Discord how this thing works. This is the full write-up of how to read this thing and how it works. We even have a video tutorial here. So like right now, you're watching a live stream of YouTube, watching my own YouTube, and watch me get like a DMCA takedown on myself. But the point is we saw at this all-time high peak, this new one, we actually saw the Coinbase Premium die, which we had held. If you don't count that little blip, we really had it from April 21st all the way to July 2025, which is a good run. If you go look at the other ones, they're not that long. If you guys don't know what this means, this is when Bitcoin is much more expensive on Coinbase. And so far what we've seen as a trend is price tends to go up and into discovery when we are Coinbase is in control. A lot of it's Saylor just blowing out the books, but it's also there's a lot of North American whales. Right now, it's North American whales are bulls, and Asia is the bears, the yellows are the Binance. What's up, Paul? It's all on the website, but you can try us out. Give us a try for $10 for your first month, Paul. Cancel anytime. But we blipped down, and now we're coming back up, which is big. And I could be telling you about Ethereum. Yeah, I am. Let me switch Bitcoin. Sorry. It's roughly the same. What I found out is Bitcoin and Ethereum are printing kind of the same on this. They're not really deviating. The other altcoins are in the chart. Remind you, we have it on Doge, XRP, Sol. And anyway, you can adjust it. You have to adjust it for your chart. But it's starting to wake back up. So we want to keep to see this trend. As long as they can keep this on the blue side, that's what we want. We want to just keep maintaining it. And just, there's a really good reason why. We see a lot of blood, these big down draws when Binance is blowing out the books. We want to see Coinbase blow out the books. The bulls are American this round. It's not Asia. So keep that in mind. We'll see where we go, right? Hope that makes sense. Right now, like I'm very boring with the charts, and I'm battling a lot of website issues. So I'm very busy in the background and also trying to write up tutorials for you guys and make the whole tutorial section better. But I'm really not interested in too much until this breaks free in some way, whether it means the 112 pivot breaks or we start printing price discovery. If we go into price discovery, the trades get easy. Let the slingshot till it goes sideways, then they also catch. Hope that makes sense. Thanks for logging in. So, another thing, I've been out-barted. Someone did this with the Barts, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So, Sterling Crispin, which has got 43,000. Wow. Artist, there it is. Artist and software developer. I've never seen the Barts rotated like that. I just thought it was fantastic, so I wanted to show that. But another thing, I saw this from Gainsey, and it made me think, because people always argue about back testing and stuff, and like legit, like all the Rainbow Trend stuff is thoroughly back tested, and shoot, I'd say well over 99% of the stuff I've written doesn't make it to production. But it brought up something that was interesting, is someone started talking about, hey, I created a 100% win rate model. Yes, 100%. And it just went viral. 2,000 likes, essentially, and just hundreds and hundreds of comments. Which brought up the question. I also do, like, bot trading on the side. And I always thought 100% win rate models were boring. I can definitely confirm they're not impossible. I've written a few of them. But they're boring. Sometimes they don't make a single trade for 12 months. And that was a question I had, is like, would people really be interested in something like that? Because I personally don't think they would be. But when that tweet blew up, it made me think, is that really something? So I don't know. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. I did a quick screenshot and went back and looked at an old one that I had. And this is like 100% profitability trade. Probably over 6 years, or not 6 years, probably 3 to 4 years, but it's only a few percent a year. That's not compounding. That's just 14% straight. But it just made me think, is I never thought people would be interested in stuff like that. And maybe the guy really does have a 100% win rate that works on low time frames and makes hundreds of percents a year. I doubt it, because he wouldn't be telling people about it, but I don't know. I wonder what your guys' thoughts are, because this is, you can do 100% win rates. It's just, man, they're boring. They sit in cash 6 months at a time, and they wait for the perfect trade, which rarely comes. They bite and they get out, and I just don't think anybody would have any interest in that. But anyway, let me know. Just a random thought. Now, back to ETF flows. We are talking big outflows, needless to say. We've had inflows, we've had outflows. Frankly, the Bitcoin inflows have been going in and out, and we've seen a steady stream on Ethereum, and it stayed on Ethereum, which was really interesting. It was kind of, for the longest time, we had the Ethereum ETFs, and they just didn't do anything. There was no volume on them at all, and then we started seeing the uptick in the trend. Oh, shout out Farside. They added the tickers up top, or not the tickers, the base company for those. That's cool. Like, you and I know IBIT's BlackRock, and we don't really care about the others, except maybe Grayscale and Fidelity. But anyway, another thing I pointed out, we haven't looked at this in a while. We haven't. Hash rate, all-time high, baby. So, that's awesome. Why is it awesome? You have to root for the miners. Now, mind you, miners do a lot of dumb stuff. All the mining companies with the crazy big PR teams, they tend to go bankrupt in the bear markets. Keep that in mind, but you root for them. In general, it's not a one-to-one trade basis if you watch the mining. Sometimes hash rates fall off and price goes up. Sometimes hash rates increase and price goes down. Blah, blah, blah. In general, we want to see a continuation of mining hash rate increase. We want to see healthy miners. If we want the crazy all-time highs, we need healthy miners to back the system, and we need miners to keep adding to the infrastructure. That's totally what we need to do. That's totally what we need to follow. Sorry, Malifestro just brought up a really cool point. Malifestro, if you guys don't know, that's the dude who's trading bros with a lot of figures. I won't say how many figures, but it's not 4 on Dutch Bros. Brings up a point of the outflows of... let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So Malifestro says 812 max outflows on August 1st aligns with the Rainbow Trends Coinbase versus Binance Premium Index right here. This little tweet here from Mally. which is this. So August 1st. Let's go back and look at that because I didn't notice that. Shame on me. I'll be damned. Hold up. Is this tool picking up the ETF outflows? No way. It was first negative on July 31st for this recent outflow. Sorry, guys, we're not on the regularly scheduled programming, but Mally just brought up a really, really good point. December 31st is there. Or December. July 31st is here. Huh. I've always speculated where on earth does Coinbase get enough volume of Bitcoin to feed the ETFs? Because frankly, the ETFs themselves are consuming more Bitcoin than Bitcoin is being mined every day. So that begs the question, where the hell is it coming from? If Sailor's just gobbling it up, the ETFs are just gobbling it up, the miners are producing less, like, where's Brian Armstrong getting it? That's the question. It's not like people are staking Bitcoin on Coinbase. Mally, we're going to have to watch that. I can't see ETF flow data in TradingView, but that's a hell of an observation. That's really cool. Shout out Mally. If you don't follow Mally, let me show you where to find him. You go on to Twitter, type in Malifestro. You go to here. There's a bunch of fake ones, which I love because it means he's doing a good job. See all the fake ones? Malifinstro. You want this one? This is the real one. Malifestro. Dropping it in the chat. So moving on. Hash rate's good. Hash rate's good. Especially because you guys may have heard that China banned Bitcoin in all mining operations. We'll talk about that later. So moving on to our Vitalik coin. This news dropped today and it was pretty cool. Now, mind you, Sailor buys a ton of Bitcoin when he makes buys. And I don't quote me, but I think he's somewhere around 3% of the Bitcoin supply. If somebody can find that in the chat, let's do it. Let me know. But he's been trying to buy Bitcoin forever, and he's only up to like 3%. And I want to bring this point up. Fundamental Global Inc. files for $5 billion of a shelf offering that they're going to buy Ethereum. Now, I want to put this into perspective. Sailor can dump billions into Bitcoin. He's not going to get a ton. I mean, he's going to get a lot of Bitcoin, but percentage-wise, he's not going to get a lot. This is $5 billion. What does that mean? I go back to Sailor. Sailor does his things. I like Sailor. He's a little fun guy. But you guys don't understand. Ethereum is the number 2 crypto in the world, right? Market cap. It's huge. But the actual volume of this thing, it's not $1 trillion asset yet. I think it's around 500. Where's the 470 billion is the fully diluted value. So the market cap is $470 billion. Fundamental Global has basically said they're going to come in and buy 1% of all Ethereum. A little bit more than 1%. This is nuts. So while Sailor can blast $5 billion into Ethereum and not really change the price drastically, I have doubts that you can blast $5 billion and just take up 1% of all Ethereum and not top blast price. I don't know if there's that much liquidity. Let's check it. There's Coinbase. The 2% depth. The 2% depth is $17 million. The overall volume on Coinbase is less than 1 billion. And that's all the buys and sells of today, right? They want to buy 5 billion. The Binance only did 2. Well, if you combine the two, they do FDUSD. That's roughly 5. That's like the total volume of what Binance does on a day, which is crazy. So looking at the chart, yeah, it's bullish. This was one of the craziest charts, and I don't think it got enough people's attention because Rainbow Theory traders started getting really, really crazy about Ethereum in April. most people haven't got crazy about Ethereum until like June or July of this year. So credit where credit's due. The Rainbow Dudes spotted this when the whales started breaking out of this multi-month channel walk, which ended up reversing at this support order block. It's a long story, but go check them all out. We proceeded to form a bar, reset, and now we've been working our way up. But the whole target since we've called it back in like April has been 4K. And we are almost there, which is crazy to think. And people are all focused on other coins and da-da-da. And sure, you might hit the right Fartcoin coin trade, but we're closing in on a call that's 140% on the second biggest asset, which doesn't move much and was one of the most hated assets for years, or like over a year. So when the setup's right, ignore the ticker. But this has got a lot of muscle behind it. We're so freaking close. Almost a new high. Almost. We've hit 39.40. The order block itself is really from like 39.78 to 4,100, but we'll see. That's where we want to get. And mind you, as much as you guys hate Ethereum, and don't lie, I know you're there, you want to see Ethereum just do this. You want to see this, because if you see this, all the altcoins you're falling in love with are going to double, triple, like just take off. That's what you want. You want alt season, Ethereum's going to have to send it. I don't make the rules. I'm sorry. Let's check Solana real quick because I forgot to put that chart up, but let's blindly check it. Well. We also want to see Solana take off. You want to see Ethereum and Solana just sending it. It's the truth. Because everything gets really easy and dumb if you do that, and that's where like leverage maybe starts making sense, even though I don't like ever talking about leverage. Not for me. But you guys know how I've been trading Solana. There's the daily order block here where you sell. There's a support order block here where you buy. And it tends to, until proven otherwise, since like March of 2024, bam, 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 bam. Except for these two deviations, but it quickly went right back. So to get back up to the Ansem was right order block, we've really got to move quite a bit. Solana just isn't kicking ass like it used to. When I say like it used to just go up and not stop. Like log is on, right? Let me turn log off. That's how freaking crazy this was. This was nuts. The volume was nuts, right? And then it just kind of went sideways, and that's what we've been doing for like a year now, over a year now. But if Ethereum is about to break the 4K, Bitcoin's pushing towards price discovery. It's also time for Solana to wake up. I do not see how Bitcoin takes off and Ethereum takes off and this stays ranging. I don't see that happening. Like the odds of it doing this while Ethereum actually breaks 4K is nuts to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Solana ecosystem is not doing so great, but I don't know. But anyway, moving on to Ethereum. This is the flows I was talking about. We went on a hell of a run. And sorry, Mally, I missed that one. We'll come back if we have time. We went on a crazy run when Bitcoin was outflowing. We actually were seeing multiple inflows, and some of the days we actually saw more Ethereum inflowing into Bitcoin, which is mental, absolutely mental. And right now we're getting some outflows for sure, which we need to check now because I want to see what the Coinbase Coinbase premium chart says on Ethereum. Ethereum is selected. And now our chart is all messed up because we were watching split volume. So give me a second because I got to move this because it's not much. There's our old Bart stuff. Prime time to tell you guys. If you guys can like, comment, subscribe, it goes a long way. Helps us out. We deal with copy strikes all the time. Helps us battle it. Keeps the lawyers going. I'm joking. We take the copy strikes and we don't monetize. So Ethereum is not doing well. Let me go to 4 hour. Yeah, there it is. So that's really like July 31st to like August 2nd. Damn. Dude, it's spotting the ETF outflows. I wonder if the Coinbase mechanism is What if it's not Binance? What if this isn't Binance? What if this is actually Coinbase buying and Coinbase dumping? What if that's the mechanism? Because that perfectly aligns with the ETF outflows. That's crazy. Shout out Mally, because that's going to make me think a lot. Let me add the Mally indicator. Hold on 1 second. So I can't show you guys the secret stuff we're working on. I mean, I could, but we're not going to. That would break the rules. All right, here we go. Mally tool. So Malifester said, turn on the Mally prints on Ethereum H4, and you'll notice when you could have bought back in after the top print. Yeah, that's staring in our face, isn't it? So if you guys don't see these are the Mally indicator pivots. Let me turn that pivot off. I have a lot of hand-drawn ones, so let me go to the Coinbase chart. Yeah. There it is. Yeah, so there's a Mally 13 print right there that got swept right before the bottom. That would have been a hell of a play. Damn. And then there's your ETF outflows. That's cool. Yeah. Cybro, what's up, dude? So, moving on. Now, to the chill house part of this stream. Rivian is up on deck. So, I don't know what it is, but Rainbow Trends traders are attracted to the god-awful Rivian chart, which tends to do nothing but down. I don't know why, but it is like a moth to a flame. They like looking at Rivian. And I saw Dan, our buddy at TrendSpider. What the hell? My Twitter account has unfollowed some of my the guys I talk to the most. I think that's insane. I don't know why it's doing that. One of my best buds, it literally said I couldn't DM them anymore and showed me that I wasn't following them. So I don't know what they're doing on Twitter. But anyway, Rivian next up on deck, and I was like, oh my god, it's time. So I tagged my bros, Nexus and Mally. Are you seeing this shit? Is there an inside joke here? Where is it? Where's your chill house tweet? No, Nexus, it was here. Oh, man. I don't see it. There it is. So Nexus proceeds to post, apparently, I say apparently, I don't know if this is real, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. But apparently there's a chill house hat wearing Rivian NFT, which is just fantastic. So, anyway, we'll see. Maybe it is actually time for Rivian to bottom. I want a Rivian van for what it's worth. Let me switch this over to daily because it's a bit much on the H4. So I also really like ChatGPT's 4.0 model, which I think is now the 5.0 model. But I said, hey, make me a take the Rivian Cars edition, make me a Rivian van out of it, and I got that. Now we are clearly wedging. We have a pretty good downtrend here with top signals printing pretty accurately on the daily. We'll see. This is really a lot like Tesla. It's going to have to break, but we'll see. But anyway, moving on. So at some point during the degen stare, Rivian runner, thanks, Cybro. At some point during the crazy markets, there is a point in where degen Cathie Woods is going to print, and we might be getting into that era. And today, Cathie Woods added $39 million to AMD, which is fantastic because she's buying pink candles, which is nuts. We don't do that with Rainbow Theory. Remember, we sell pinks. We sell euphoria and we buy pain. We definitely don't want to do that. It normally doesn't work out, but that being said, we are getting into a situation where Cathie Wood may be full sending it. And this stream is coming to you by an AMD. So maybe it's a thing. But the reason I point this out, AMD channel walked down, broke out. And so far, this has been an insane channel walk reversal. It's gone up 100%, 105, whatever. But I wanted to point out, we are getting another channel walk here in the upward position that can only be sustained for so long. And if Cathie Woods is buying here, it may be time to consider it coming back down. I don't know. But set your alerts, draw your channel walk right, and then just like offset it a little bit, give you some breathing rooms, right-click it, add alert on trend line, say whatever you want. Hey, Cathie, time, check out. Maybe AMD just full sends it, but we're coming up to resistance. If you guys know how I draw them every time, like this for years. I don't have trader main eyes, so I have to use bots. There's our order block there, and we're going to draw another one here. Just add a tree there, Bob Ross style, and there you go. Bam, bam. There's our next resistance order levels. It's not rocket science. It's rainbow science, whale science. It's biology. So that's where we're at with it, and we'll see. This is a perfect place for a channel walk to slam into resistance here and retrace. If you can't tell what I'm trying to say, this is your resistance area, and there's a very high probability you just hit this and then pull back like 40%, and it's going to get ugly. So keep in mind, this is a really good time to not add. It's a good time to take profits. So anyway, moving on. So since we're talking to AMD, sorry, I got to get a drink. Hold on, stand by. So that being said, Trump started talking trash about the Intel CEO. I don't know what that means or why he got pissed off. I'd imagine it's something to do with tariffs, not wanting to bring in $900 billion worth of Intel infrastructure in the United States, if I had to guess. But if we're looking at Intel, we are looking here for our support resistance order blocks. We had that kind of forming here, and then she nuked down. Trump's talking trash. It had a slight pullback. But man, I think we have a really good argument that 1860 is probably going to be the floor for Intel, until proven otherwise. If this thing breaks, we're going to be downtrending and trying to find another floor, because that's essentially what happened here. This broke, and we had a huge issue. It reminds you, I think the CEO of Intel bought a shit ton here, and now we're back at a lower level. We'll see. I mean, I think that's the former Intel CEO. Now we're going to deal with another one, but either way, we're moving on. We got to get Intel back up until proven otherwise. But if this gets proven otherwise, man, it's kind of white coffee. I don't want to call that a creek, but maybe. It's hard. It's real hard. And Intel internally, like their chips are having a lot of issues that they keep burning themselves out. So I'm not really bullish on that. But moving on, we've talked AMD, we've talked Intel. Let's talk on Apple. So Apple so if you guys don't remember, Tim Cook had China producing iPhones very smoothly. And then Trump started talking China tariffs, and then Apple started trying to move production to India, which takes forever to move production. And then they decided to tariff the living hell out of India. So then the Apple's like in a really odd spot, because you guys cannot imagine how much an Apple iPhone is going to cost you. But apparently Apple is bending the knee in a way I've never seen bend before. And Apple was expecting tariffs to cost them $1.1 billion this year. And right after Apple was expecting tariffs to cost them $1.1 billion, Tim Cook rolled into the White House. So let me turn the volume up so you guys can hear this. Because this is, I have never seen a CEO bend the knee this hard, and it's worth taking note, because it is going to be crazy hard to do this. And I think earlier this week, Trump announced 100% tariff on all chips. So all of your microprocessors are going to have to be American made to make your iPhones, and then the iPhones are going to have to be assembled in America. You're going to have $2,000 iPhones. I'm sorry, but check this out. This is beyond bending the knee, kissing the ring. Check it out.
Yes, please.
This bottom was made here in the U.S., California, and this glass comes off the Corning line. It's engraved for President Trump. It's a unique unit of one. It was designed by a U.S. Marine Corps corporal, a former one, that works at Apple now.
Looks good. He's done well.
Designed it for you. And the base comes from Utah and is 24 karat gold, and it sits, I'll take the liberty of setting it up.
Wow.
Well, There we go. Congratulations,
Thank you
Mr.
very much.
President.
It's
Thank you so
fantastic.
much.
The great people of Kentucky.
I've never seen anything like this. This is beyond anything I've heard. And what he's trying to do is not get Apple tariffed into death. And honestly, you can't really blame him because, dude, what are you gonna do? I mean, you can't just forecast 20% or 20%, 100% increase in cost as a company. You just can't do it. So, whew, that's rough. So even then, Apple is planning to invest $600 billion in the United States. I think their free cash flow over the past 5 years, I couldn't find it for the stream. I looked for it, but I think Zero Hedge had it. I think it was like 60 billion was like their cash flow, free cash over the past like 4 or 5 years. So how they're going to invest 600 billion, I have no idea. God forbid anybody asks some pointed questions and try to figure that out. But where does this leave us? $2,000 iPhones probably. And Apple got a nice little boost today. So what it does from here on out, I don't know. I'm not super bullish on this, albeit my dad just got an M4 laptop. And it is ungodly fast at video editing compared to my ThinkPad. I think they're actually onto something. I haven't said that about Apple in a very, very long time. But anyway, Apple bending the knee like crazy. They have to. Like, it's go down or try to work with this administration. But we'll see. That being said, they promised to invest $600 billion, and then this happened. This news event happened, and I couldn't believe it, because if I got roasted after pledging to give $600 million and then getting a glass engraved piece of baked gold based things, whatever. But just check it out. This is crazy.
Ukraine, getting it settled, getting it ended, should have never started, would have never started. If I were president, it would have never started. I want to thank Tim Cook. He's a great, great man, a visionary, a businessman, just about every quality he can have other than athleticism. I don't know about that. I'm looking at him. I'm not 100% sure about you. You're a good athlete. I'll bet you're pretty good.
He got roasted by Trump after bending the knee that hard is just it's I don't know what to say, chat. I don't know. I'm turning my music back on and blasting my eardrums. Let me get that back. There we go. All right. So Tim Cook bent the knee, got roasted by Trump, and stocks pumped a little bit. We'll see where it goes. Since we're speaking White House, this news report dropped that apparently JD Vance was on vacation and was kayaking with the family and asked the Army Corps of Engineers to raise the water level of the Ohio River so that it could improve kayaking conditions. This is the most baller move I've heard in a very, very long time. I'm not mad. I just think it's like, can you imagine being in a position where you even think of that? Damn, the water level's low on this lake trip. Let me call the Army. Let me call the Army in to raise the water level. It's crazy. Does that have to do anything with trading? Absolutely not. But moving on, this kind of does. GPT-4 is dropping GPT-5. I've seen nothing but Elon talk trash about it in Twitter. Also, some of the whatchamacallit, the Elon's been talking trash about it and just going off all these crazy metrics. I use Grok and ChatGPT. I prefer the GPT model, but with that being said, that's what I was going to say. Government contract went to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is going to be rolling out a lot of stuff for the U.S. government, which I'm sure we haven't seen Elon do a bender in a while, a ketamine bender, and accuse Trump of being on the Epstein list. It's been a while, but we might see it. This ChatGPT rolling out 5, ChatGPT getting government contracts in the White House, approved by the White House. Maybe we get a bender, right? If you guys don't remember, we actually got a top signal on Rainbow Trends like a day or two before he had that rant, and the price just completely nuked, like 25%. So, I'm not saying that that algorithm has that much insight into Elon's levels of ketamine, or what he's going to say about Trump and Epstein. But I will say this. I'm watching the hell out of this because it's coming to a T. I say coming to a T. It's coming to a wedge. This is coiling. This is eventually going to break hard. I can't tell you which way it's going to go. It's dead center of these reversion bands. It's weak colors. But I will say this. If Elon gets a little too upset, starts talking trash, we could easily teleport for a retest off that order block and bounce. So watch that, because he could have a very, very big rant. He's talking trash about how much better ChatGPT is at chess for some reason, to say it's better, or Grok is better at chess, which, whatever. I could care less. Bam. We could easily get a scalp here, potentially. And if you notice, the level here was nowhere near the reversion bands. Now it will be. The reversion bands are actually getting pretty close. So keep that in mind. So this probably is going to work like that. So maybe we get it, but just pay attention, because we haven't had a trade from Tesla since this top signal. I kind of was looking at that, but didn't want to do it because it was too close to the middle. Now I want that if we get it. Or it just breaks loose and they say Grok's really, really better at checkers. So anyway, moving on. OG DeFi is actually starting to get a lot of interest, and I want to do a deep dive into what DeFi chain most profitably would be keen to profit off of Ethereum going full send and getting ETFs and all this other stuff. My gut tells me, and some research I did a long time ago, it's probably going to be Aave. If you look at their numbers are pretty damn crazy. And it's really waking up. This has been one of the more powerful DeFis we've seen in a very long time. Now, violent for sure, but if you don't remember, when Ethereum goes down, Aave goes down. Now Ethereum's going up, this is pumping too. So something to keep eye on. Also, I'm going to be taking a look at Sushi, but my gut's telling me Aave is probably going to be the better one for me. But we'll see. You guys tell me what you think in the chat. That's something I need to research, and I'm probably going to be picking 9K's brain a little bit. But another thing, we're talking volatility. Remember how much we bounced a week or so ago when Japan made a deal with the White House in regards to tariffs? Today, post ink drying, the U.S. says, F that, we're going to impose an additional 15% tariff on Japanese imports. U.S. tariff on Japan regardless of existing rates. So basically they're saying is, you bent the knee to make a deal with us, and then F it, we're gonna change the deal. This is not promising. They still have like 100 deals to make, and we just found out one of our like greatest trading allies with the United States just got dumped 15% harder on, which I didn't see coming, and I think is very not cool. I think you can only act a fool for so long before people quit caring or quit wanting to play games or play with you anymore. So we'll see. Now, taking a look at Toyota, because the last time they made a deal on the tariffs, Toyota full sent it, and actually tagged the damn bans. Haven't really seen it yet, albeit this was today. We'll see what tomorrow is if this thing actually teleports. We'll see, but I'm going to keep an eye on Toyota, because Toyota acted way bullish in regards to increased tariffs on Japan. So we'll see. So some bad news, some bearish news. China has officially banned cryptocurrency trading. Again, this used to matter in 2017. It doesn't seem to matter so much anymore, and it even got community noted that China banned crypto in 2021. Also probably 2018, 2017. Ban. I don't care anymore. CCP is going to have to figure it out. Now, what I do care about is our new Ibiza boss. I love this meme. And the original Ibiza boss is coming up with all types of memes. But I saw the CZ one today, and I just laughed my ass off. And Be a Bean Chain actually posted that, but it's freaking-tastic. So, anyway, that being said, we're an hour into this. Thank you guys for coming out. Please click the link, copy, cut, paste. No, like, comment, subscribe. But we're going to go hang out in the Discord for the rest of the night. I'm going to turn off the recording software, turn off the streams, and we're going to go hang out in there. So come join us in the Discord. Come hang out. It's roundtable. Anybody is welcome. You want to teach me Fibonacci sequence all night? Go for it. But anyway, thanks again. If you want to remember, Discord link is always at the top. And if you want to be a client, you can come join us today for $10 for your first month. Cancel anytime. So anyway, I will see you guys. Much love.